What's up, Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans? This is former Buccaneers defensive tackle James Cannida, and this is Games Pewter Perspective. Before we get started, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and smash that bell for every time that I'm dropping brand new content. The draft is upon us. It's coming up, and we know there's certain positions of need. Now, one position that's coming up a lot also, other than edge and secondary, is linebacker. And so I took a dive and look at some of these guys that I consider box linebackers. Let's face it, Levante David is getting old. It's about time for us to find his replacement. Now, I do like the way Servassier Dennis played last year when he was healthy, but there was times where he was out, and we still need to get that future. So I took a look at a couple different linebackers on this year's draft, guys that I think that could have some impact here in the NFL. Now, some of these guys, maybe it's a reach in the first round at 19. Maybe you can move back, get them later, and add some more picks to this draft class. And maybe one of them will fall to us a little bit later. So these aren't particular first round guys we have to get at 19, but guys that can come in and play. And the first guy on my list is out of the University of Alabama, Jahad Campbell. 6'3", 235 pounds. Scouts say that he's very explosive. He has a great first step, and he can knife through gaps when he's blitzing. Great coverage instincts for a guy that started out as an edge rusher when he got to Alabama, moved him to a middle linebacker. He can cover his zone, and he can cover a man, and he's a very efficient tackler. One of the bad things they said about this kid is that he can be overly aggressive and he's vulnerable for misdirection plays. Something that you can fix, you can't teach dog. So if he's got that aggressive attitude and mentality, it's going to benefit him later on in the long run. Second guy that looks really good when I put the film on, Demetrius Knight, linebacker out of South Carolina. 6'2", 235 pounds. He has an explosive downhill first step that allows him to disrupt plays. He has natural instincts as a blitzer, and he's very powerful and uses it well when he's delivering jarring hits. One thing that's going to be a knock on him coming out right away is his change of direction, and he sometimes ducks his head on tackles because of how aggressive he is. But a hell of a linebacker that can come in and fit this Buccaneers defensive scheme very well. Number 3, a guy that I like on film. It's hard for me to see him playing in the box, but they said that he could be a two-way linebacker if he needed to be, and that's Carson Schlesinger, the linebacker out of UCLA. 6'2", 242 pounds, but when you look at him on film, he doesn't look that big. He looks a lot smaller. He looks like he's in his 220s, but I'll look at his combine numbers here in a second and see what he is. He has a very high motor. He plays from sideline to sideline. He is quick downhill with natural instincts, and he has a great football IQ. The one knock on him, again, he's a little bit thin for that frame that he has to carry the weight, and he struggles to disengage blocks once O-linemen get their hands on him. But he has a knack for the ball, and he will fly sideline to sideline. Schlesinger is someone that you can see the Buccaneers take if they move back, I think, in the draft. Number 4 for me is a guy I got a chance to see play a lot because one of my former students is a teammate of his right now, and that's Danny Stutzman out of Oklahoma. I like the way this kid plays. At first, I thought it was all hype, but then watching some of his film and seeing what he did later on a defense that really struggled because of other injuries on the back end, Stutzman is a good football player. He has great run recognition when he sees it. He's a great A and B gap blitzer. He can play right down the middle in those blitz schemes that Todd Bowles likes to do. The one thing is he's limited in change of direction right now, and he's got to get better with using his hands and getting people off and being able to get off the blocks. Like I say, he's not the biggest. Stutzman is 6'3", 233 pounds. But when I say come downhill, if he can get through that gap, he's going to make a good tackle. And I think that he could be a good pick. Now, this last guy, and like I said, I picked these guys because I see how they fit the Buccaneers defense, is a linebacker out of Penn State, 6'1", 236, and that's Kobe King. Kobe King might be a little bit of a reach this high in the first. I think that he has more of a early second round grade, late first round grade. So this is a guy, but I just like what he does when I put the film on. He has elite run stop instincts, 97 tackles, 53 of those were solo. He plays downhill and he stops runners in their tracks. I mean, when he came up and hit, it was like a sledgehammer hitting somebody. He stopped guys right in the track. There's no falling forward for 2 or 3 extra yards when Kobe King came down and got his tackle in. He's great with his hands and he can get off blocks very well. The thing that he's going to have to work on is coverage ability. So if there's a middle linebacker that you need to want to be able to pick up the running back out the backfield, cover a little bit more, Kobe King is going to have to really work on this. And he relies on his power all the time. And I know you want a powerful linebacker, but sometimes when you're coming in on that blitz, you've got to be able to bend that corner, get to an edge, dip that shoulder, and get by the guy that's trying to block you so they can't get their hands on you. But again, man, just looking at this class right here, there's a lot of linebackers. There's a lot of guys that are going to really be more so, I think, second and third round guys that are going to have great NFL careers. But if we had to change it up a little bit and go first round, Jihad Campbell out of Bama, Demetrius Knight Jr. out of South Carolina, Carson Schlesinger, Danny Stoutman, and Kobe King are 5 linebackers that I can see coming in, fitting this Todd Bowles defense and playing well. Let me know what you think. If you had to go linebacker in the draft, who would it be, and what round would you want to take one in? Again, this is former Buccaneers defensive tackle James Cannida, and this is Games Pewter Perspective. Please make sure you follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and everything else out there on social media. Until next time, peace.